Okay. Welcome, beautiful Ohana. It is delightful to have you here. It is a pleasure and an honor. What we're going to do in this special edition of the show is review everything that we've talked about so far. I'm going to do my very best to make this brief and succinct because it is a beautiful day outside and I would like to go back out into the sunshine. But this seems like the best place to record. So we'll do this and then back out into the sunlight. So, review. I've mentioned before on the show, but I would like to bring it up again and into greater clarity that I don't have leanings. I don't have an agenda of any kind. I am only concerned with the truth. I'm not trying to accomplish anything other than to be as accurate, genuine, and authentic as I possibly can. And in my quest for truth, what I have found very valuable is natural law, because natural law is solid ground to stand on, right? These are eternal, unchanging principles for the way that the universe operates, the way that creation functions, unfolds. These laws they govern the unfolding of creation. And that comforts me greatly because the scientism and the dogma within scientism got a hold of my intellect in my early youth and didn't let go until, well, it still is trying to maintain a hold and failing. Because I'm finding that natural law, being that it's written inside of my heart, is far more reliable than any of the rhetoric that has been propagated through mainstream channels, through public education, through scientism. It's all baloney. None of it's true. It's all disempowering. It's all lies. And it's all meant to keep you from realizing the truth, that you are a child of God, that you are a divine being with infinite intelligence and cosmic creative power. You're literally creating your reality, whether you are aware of it or not. Your thought patterns and your emotions are literally creating your experience. And that's why natural law is so helpful, because it will allow you to get on top of that process rather than smushed under it, because so much of your thought patterns and your behavior, your thought patterns and your emotional tendencies have been programmed into you by society and culture in a way that disempowers you and makes you think that you're this little tiny, weak, fragile thing, and you're not. You are a cosmic being. But anyway, on the flip side of that, when I say that I'm not sugarcoating anything, I'm presenting everything authentically as best as I know it. So even though we are these great cosmic beings, we are experiencing creation through these individuated units of consciousness. You know, we're talking about the monad, which resides within each of these physical bodies. And through programming, the physical body includes this personality construct and all of its belief structures, its whole identity matrix. But that's all. You can disassemble that and reassemble it, and your body will actually reflect changes as you make changes to your identity, your personality structure, your agreements. When you change those, you will actually notice changes in your behavior, which manifests as changes in the things that you do physically, as well as how your body heals and grows and looks. But being that that I don't have that perception of creation as the totality, I'm looking at it through this individuated unit. I can only present you with a slice of the truth. And that slice is meant to be connected with your slice and everybody else's, so that we can together talk openly and see creation clearly. But I hope that the slice of truth that I present to you helps to illuminate the slice that you have. Because it's possible, and perhaps even likely, that the way that you're looking at reality is not accurate, because there are fears and insecurities and agreements that are based in lies, false perceptions, right? Misconceptions. So I hope that the knowledge that I present in my show allows you to see that and transcend those things. Because all I want for you is to discover your divine self, so that you can actively, consciously, and intentionally be your divine self. All I want for you. And I know you can do it. All right. Got that out of here. Cells. So when I say that I only have a slice of the truth, what I mean is that we are connected to the totality of creation and infinite intelligence, but what we are as a monad, a soul, and a body and a personality is a cell in the body of God, right? So in order for us to be, and if you're parasitic at all, like if you are like want, need, gimme, if you're like sucking on people emotionally or psychologically, you're like a cancer cell. And it probably feels that way. If that's your disposition and that's the way that you're functioning, it probably feels like agony and suffering pretty much all the time, because creation is trying to, remove the cancer. That's why we can't like have ill will towards anybody, even if people are, mean and cruel. You can't hate them. It doesn't help. It just hurts you and hurts everybody else. You can recognize that like people do shitty things, but you can't hate them. You gotta love them. And just know that like actions need to be taken to protect yourself from harmful people, and perhaps even at times incarcerate them. And in very extreme situations, excommunicate them completely, exile them from communities. And in super, super extreme, like, rape and murder kind of situations, then, maybe execution is the most prudent thing to do. But you cannot hate. You are a cell in a body, just like the person that you hate is a cell in the body of God. If you hate any of the other cells, then you are cancer. Let the body remove the cancer cells. Don't be cancer yourself. Okay. Natural law. Natural law is solid ground to stand on. The principles of natural law elucidate the way that the universe operates, which allows us to see clearly that everything that is unfolding lawfully, right? Whether we like it or not, whether we're happy about it or not, doesn't matter. Everything in creation unfolds according to law. Part and parcel with natural law is the pillars of enlightenment, right? If you're not going to bother studying anything else about natural law, you got to know the pillars of enlightenment. The divine feminine principle of non-aggression, do no harm, and the divine masculine principle of self-defense, take no shit. Do no harm, take no shit. That's the gist of the law as it pertains to human affairs. The Hermetic principles and, all these different aspects of natural law, very, very helpful to know. But when we're talking about basic morality and dealing with people, affairs, you really just got to know, do no harm, take no shit, right? Do no harm and allow no harm to come to you or anybody else. Which is an excellent segue into the next thing that we got to review, which is the Matrix, which is a system built on lies that is designed to disempower you and turn you into a slave, so that your divine power is being reallocated towards sin, basically. And when I say sin, I mean to miss the mark, right? That's what sin means. I don't mean sin like somebody's waiting around to give you a spanking for doing it, but sin as in like you're not doing it correctly, right? Because there is a correct way to go about living, right? There is objectively moral range of thinking and feeling and behaving. And if you're not in that range, then you miss, right? You lose, right? Not forever, but like the energy that you're cascading out all the time, if that's not being aimed properly, then it's just going all over the place. And if it's being channeled incorrectly, like if you're hateful or angry or sad, like it's you miss. You're sinning. The Matrix is designed to get you to do that all the time, to make you angry and sad and frustrated and feel hopeless and afraid. It's designed to do that because what the Matrix is a whole bunch of lies and then systems for impressing those lies into your subconscious mind. We're talking about like forced medical procedures when you're a baby. We're talking about like feeding you toxic food your whole life, spraying fucking poison everywhere. All these different things to disempower you. Right? The public education system just designed to train you to be obedient to other people, right? All of these things, it's all designed to disempower you and lead you away from the truth that you are a creature of God, that you are a child of God, that you have cosmic energy pouring through your fucking body all the time. The Matrix is a system that is designed to trick you into thinking that you are small and weak And so it behooves us to throw away all of that bullshit, to not buy any of that bullshit anymore, and stop agreeing with the lies that we've been trained to believe. That's how you get a matrix. I also have methodologies that I am actively presenting on my show that are designed to liberate you from the matrix. I've been presenting those methods as best I can on the show thus far, but we're gonna take everything that I've presented and just do our very best to condense it, make it really small. Just quickly go over everything that we've already gone over in regards to methodologies for liberating yourself from the matrix. The first one, sovereignty. Sovereignty is total dominion, ultimate authority, right? And I say authority in the means of absolute control. Because authority, as we've been taught, doesn't exist, right? No man has the right to command another man, right? That you're not the boss of me or anybody else, and I'm not the boss of you or anybody else, right? Authority doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. There are no masters, no slaves. We are all sovereign, right? This means that you own your body, your mind, your soul. You own these things. These are your property, right? They belong to you. Property is very important in the sense that all rights are essentially property rights, in that a crime is when harm is done to someone's property, right? When people are physically injured, right, you have damaged their property. Or not you specifically, but like when someone causes harm, they are damaging someone else's property. You're stealing the integrity of their property, right? So in a way, all crimes are theft. If you are obstructing somebody's freedom of travel, right? Somebody's traveling and you try to stop them and say, hey, you can't travel across this imaginary line here. You're stealing their freedom of travel from them. It's theft. Property. Property is that which you have rightly acquired. That means that you earned it, you bought it, or it was given to you in good faith and you didn't steal it. Everything that you have rightly acquired, all of your property, it's yours to do with as you will, so long as what you do with your property doesn't cause harm. Circling back to the notion of authority, when I say that authority doesn't exist, I mean that no one has the right to take other people's property. Right? Nobody has the right to tell you what to do with your body. Nobody has the right to tell you what to think or what to feel or what to believe. Nobody has the right to tell you that your destiny is limited to these parameters. None of that. Nobody has the right to tell you what to do with your property. That extends to things like the land that you own and the homes that you own. You don't need to go and get permission to build things on your land or develop your land. It's your property. The land's a little bit of a tricky one because we can't actually own land. Sorry. You can't. You can be a steward for the land, but you can't actually own it. Nobody gets to own the land. Bummer for a lot of people. Disappointing for those people. Anyway, sovereignty, super important. You must be the king or queen of your temple, of your mind, your body, and your soul. These things all need to be under your exclusive dominion, and they are under law, under cosmic law. Your mind, your body, your soul are your property. They belong to you. And freedom stems from your stepping into sovereignty. Your sovereignty is derived from you taking total responsibility for all of your thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Recognizing that your mind, your body, and your soul are your property and that you have sovereignty over those things will facilitate your liberation from all forms of bondage, because you will recognize that you have to change your mind and your feelings and your actions. Nobody is going to save you. Nobody is going to protect you. Nobody's going to provide you with salvation. Everybody must work out their own salvation by taking complete responsibility for themselves. We're all helping each other become free, but ultimately, our liberation is our responsibility. And the means by which we claim that responsibility is self-control. This is what we talked about in the last video. Self-control, in a way, is freedom. Recognizing that no one is the boss of you, no one has control over you, you are responsible for your thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Recognizing that, it becomes very clear that what you have to do is develop self-control. You must be willing to throw away the notion of blame completely. You must be willing to take the responsibility required to be accountable for everything that you do. Not just everything that you do, but everything that you think and everything that you feel, because your thoughts and your emotions precede your behavior. Everything that happens physically was preceded by thoughts and emotions. That includes you and all of your behavior. It all came from thoughts and emotions inside of you. And to some degree, I let everybody off the hook because we've all been through some shit. Right? The atrocities that have taken place on this planet for the past who knows how fucking long. Horrendous, unspeakable things. But the hard truth is that even though all of those things have happened, it doesn't help us to hate anybody or be angry at anybody. The best thing for us to do is to raise our vibration. First off, in raising our vibration, we got to do a whole bunch of deprogramming. I'm talking about like all of the beliefs that you have that are disempowering, junk them. They got to go. Now, the way that I have gone about this is I have these index cards that have true aspects of my soul nature, like attributes of my divine self, my best self, right? What that guy thinks like, how he feels, how he lives, how he behaves. Those kinds of things are written on these cards, as well as other attunements. And these things, by reading these things often, I used to read them every day, but this program is just in my subconscious mind now. I don't have to read these anymore. But for a couple weeks, I read them, and it changes your subconscious mind. Then when you focus on the truth, right, and when you discover that the truth is that you are a divine creature and that you are not weak or hopeless or undeserving or any of these things. You're basically perfect. Not the personality is perfect, but you behind the personality are flawless. Recognizing that and continuously reminding yourself of that truth, then all of the thoughts that come up, like, oh, I'm a shitty person, and oh, I'm so lazy, and all this bad stuff always happens, all of that stuff, like, when it comes up in your mind, you're like, no, that's not me. That's not true. I don't agree with that. Toss it. These agreements that we have in our subconscious mind, we have to be on top of this. Whenever thoughts and emotions come up within us, we have to decide whether or not we agree with it. That's how you deprogram and reprogram. And as you go about this, you just want to keep rising. You just want to keep elevating your frequency. You just want to feel better all the time. And you'll notice how some things maybe make you feel really fucking awesome for a little while, but then you feel like dog shit. I've noticed that, like, with drinking too much alcohol, smoking too much cannabis, smoking too much tobacco, eating too much food, watching overstimulating or mindless entertainment, being lazy, these kinds of things, like, they maybe feel awesome for like a little while, but then you feel worse afterwards. And I've noticed that you tend to steer away from those things as your focus becomes, is this going to elevate my frequency? Is this going to grow my aura? Is this helping me become free? When you prioritize your freedom, knowing that your freedom stems from your frequency being higher and your thoughts, emotions, and behavior being clean and in alignment with your divine self, you'll notice that you will reorient yourself. Your thinking, your emotions, your behavior, it's all going to change as you focus on becoming free. You're going to be like, wow, I've been doing this for a long time, but it's just not helping. I feel great for a little while, but then I need to do it again, and I'm getting diminishing returns, and I actually feel like I'm descending rather than ascending. I feel heavier. There's more dark thought patterns and emotions. If that's the case, like, you just are gonna feel inclined to taper away from those things. Real quick, I'm gonna reel off some of the techniques that I have for raising my vibe. I don't have the card anymore, so I'm just gonna, as they come to me. Breathing, absolutely crucial. Meditation, very, very helpful. Eating fruit. Fruit is what we're designed to eat. We're going to talk about fruit next episode, I promise. Eating clean food like fruit, fasting, exercise, sunlight, high vibe music, singing happy or high vibe songs, dancing to high vibe music. Those are my favorite ones for sure. Those things. Do that kind of stuff. Do stuff that elevates your frequency and doesn't bring you down. That's how you get free. Do that. Think good things about yourself. Figure out, where is my thinking and my emotions not in alignment with the truth? From there, you can move forward into freedom. That about wraps it up for the review. I love you deeply. I am so grateful that you choose to watch my content, and I very, very much hope that it is of value to you. There is a link in the description to my LinkTree where you can support me financially if you would like. There's also links to my book, and you can also email me. Blessings be upon you, Ohana. Aloha.